Hi guys, welcome to some more Real Talk Dog Talk. I'm Tori.
And I'm Barb.
For those of you who haven't joined us before, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at realtalkdogtalk@yahoo.com.
And if you are a regular listener and or emailer, we love getting those emails. They give us great ideas for our podcast, so keep them coming in. So we had a little bit of a kerfluffle.
We did.
With our scheduling of podcasts. We had to skip our second portion on therapy dogs versus service dogs.
Yes.
Because we did not have our material sent to us yet.
Yes.
So, great feng shui break, I guess we'd say.
Yeah.
We had a little dip and went into that. But today, we're back on track with part two.
Part 2.
Of therapy dogs versus
Service dogs.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, we ran into another little glitch.
Because why wouldn't we? Okay.
Good question there. But one of the books, we were going to do 2 books, one on more therapy dogs, one more on service dogs. The one book said, no way, fat chance, don't reference us.
Yep.
Nothing.
We don't want any part of it.
Yep. The copyright is not going to let us use it or talk about it or refer to it or paraphrase. It was pretty thorough in saying, don't use this book.
Yep.
Unless you're just going to read it.
Right.
So.
Fine.
On to Plan B.
Yes, we've got it.
Or maybe this is C.
It's hard to tell.
I've kind of lost
We're
track.
down the line a little
I know,
ways.
we're on the down end of,
Yeah.
of this topic. But we do have the other book that we had ordered.
Yes.
And, some of the information in this book we kind of talked about, a podcast ago, that we kind of touched on within our own information, knowledge in the internet.
Yes.
So if we repeat a few things, we apologize for that, but
It must be really good information.
it is so good.
So.
Yeah. The book is called Saved by the Dog.
Yes.
And it is by Anne Martinez.
Anne Martinez.
And I don't know, what'd you think, just overall, what'd you think of the book, Tori?
A lot of really good information.
It is very good information. And it actually is not a book for entertainment, really.
No, if you want an edge-of-the-seat thriller,
This isn't it.
No. Mm-mm.
But it is. I was actually pretty impressed with it.
I really liked it. There's a ton of really good information. I feel like it was well written, clear.
Yep.
And it did. It didn't just tell you the information, but it kind of went in depth a little bit into it to explain why you're doing these certain things or not.
Right.
So.
And that's honestly that it. Just trying to put this together for the podcast, that made it a little bit more complicated for me.
Right. Yeah.
Because there was topics, subtopics, explanations, examples.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So, but I really did like the book. Now, for copyright's sake, I am going to, she has this copyrighted, but I'm just going to read verbatim a portion of her copyright. It is, while every precaution has been taken in the creation of this book, the publisher and author assume... Enzo's having a dream.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. The publisher and author assume no responsibility for errors or omissions for damages resulting from the use of the information contained herein. Now, that being said, that's just kind of a legality, a copyright thing. I feel this is a very good book, an excellent resource for, and it covers kind of doing your own training and finding a professional.
It does, and actually it gives you a lot of resources to be able to do all of that.
It really does. It has, there's a chapter 8, and it has, and I, even in my notes I wrote so many resources.
Yep.
And just a few of them are, and we can get into what they are, but IAADP, the PSDS, the ADI, and there's just a whole bunch more. And it doesn't just give, throw out the names of them, but it also gives phone numbers and websites.
Yeah.
So anything that you do have kind of an interest in or questions about, or if you're still in the research end of it, she has just a lot of the contact information in here as well.
Which is really awesome because honestly, when you're looking on the internet, I mean, it can be really hard to track down legitimate agencies, websites, resources of any kind, really.
Right. One thing she talks about, as long as we're on the topic of internet,
Yep.
is some of the online certifications for ESA dogs
Mm-hmm.
is, I would say, fraudulent
Not highly recommended for sure.
or at all.
Yes.
And one of the things that she points out that I think is kind of ironic and somewhat unfair is that some of the places on the internet that sell these certifications for ESA dogs,
Mm-hmm.
she says in the book here that it is not illegal for them to sell you the certificate,
Oh.
but it is illegal for you to represent your dog as a service dog if it is not.
So you can buy it, but you can't do anything with it, essentially.
Well, if you do, you're misrepresenting.
Oh, I got okay.
And
Okay.
then you're getting into some legal problems there.
Sure.
She says here, there's a lot of incomplete, inaccurate, and downright fraudulent information floating around about service dogs and PSDs, in particular. So those are psychiatric service dogs. The PSD is a psychiatric service dog,
Okay.
and then the ESA dog is an emotional support dog.
Okay.
So there is a line between the two.
Right.
So and this confusion and inaccuracy is why we're doing this podcast. I think some people who actually do have a need for it don't really know where to go with it. And then I think some people think it's just super cool to have your dog with and are breaking a lot of rules to have them with.
Right. Well, and if you are somebody who's looking for, a legitimate service dog or PSD, that can be tough because you can think you're fully getting your dog registered and doing things the right way, and then, come to find out that's not at all what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you could have problems with that, and, what do you do now? Where do you go? It's really too bad that there's things out there like that without being clear.
Well, with having a certified dog, a service dog, you do have to have an actual disability. And there is the Americans with Disability Act, and that is one that actually, I guess, I'm getting my books mixed up here because I've been looking through a few.
Yeah.
But I believe they are calling it invisible disabilities.
Oh, yes.
The ones that have maybe psychiatric or emotional issues.
Yes.
That just don't cope well with, what would I say?
There's
I don't know if I'd say
public
or stress.
Stress. What I got from it was, you got mental disability, whether that be, there's many of them, But you can't see it physically. But you leave your house and you're in a different setting where your stress rises, your anxiety goes up, and that's when you start having those problems that go into your condition,
Right.
where you would need that dog.
Well, a couple things that she mentioned on the psychiatric end of things, the invisible disabilities,
Yep.
that I really hadn't thought about, but two that just popped right out at me at that.
Yeah.
That could help. But one is hallucinations.
That would make a ton of sense. Yeah.
Yep. And the other is night terrors.
Oh, yeah.
Which those are two that I guess you always think of depression, anxiety,
Right.
kind of the basic stuff.
Yep.
Even schizophrenia, that type of thing pops out of my mind. Bipolar, you always
Yep.
think of those. But I hadn't really thought about night terrors
Yeah.
and racing thoughts. That
Oh.
was another one that she had mentioned. So the service dog for any disability, whether it's an invisible disability or one that is more apparent, the dog must be trained to do work to perform tasks that are directly related to your disability.
Okay.
A more obvious one is a seeing eye dog
Right.
is trained to, lead you where you can't see.
Right. Yes.
So the dog has to be trained, and that is qualifying. That is the service dog. Now the ADA is actually a legislation that applies across the entire country, and they kind of watch out for more the psychiatric dogs. The ESA doesn't get quite the protection as the psychiatric dogs.
Oh, yep.
So you have to think about what you're really needing, if it's an ESA dog or a psychiatric, service dog.
Right. What extent is it?
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
The ESA and the psychiatric dog is kind of a gray area for me.
Yeah.
Because I know, they always recommend, they say, yes, you can train your own, but you should partner with, a professional trainer to help you, get your dog trained, specifically for your need and for being in public. And as far as the ADA goes, I mean, they say they are, they don't really cover as much, protection for the ESA dog, yet both require, paperwork from a doctor to say, hey, this is the problem. They're both supposed to be certified.
Right.
But the psychiatric dogs have, apparently, from what I'm understanding, more thorough training.
That's what I've understood. Which maybe it was too much information at once for me. I don't know. But why?
Well, and why doesn't the ADA, give as much rights to the ESA dog?
Yeah.
So, because you need the doctor's order for both of them. Maybe it's more an issue that the ESA dog is more of a companion dog.
Right.
And is trained more in terms of good manners.
Right.
Where maybe the psychiatric dog is trained specifically to do something for the person.
Like bring medication. I know that was something they talked about too, and it wasn't just with psychiatric. It was service dogs for different disabilities, seizures and things like that too.
Right.
So that could be one of them.
Well, that's kind of the only real, that's why this is a really complicated topic.
Yep.
And I think really, as much as I like to think I know my beans, I probably don't know it all. Okay, that's the only time you'll hear me admit that.
I won't tell.
Yeah. But, so it's really kind of, that ESA and psychiatric dog, that's kind of an area that is not exactly clear in my mind, because those two seem so close.
Right.
In, definition even, and requirements. And maybe we went through the information too fast, but it just seems like the psychiatric dog possibly has more specific training.
Yeah, and I think that's probably is what it is. It is definitely tricky though, because I mean, you think about it, and from what I understand, you can have uh, a psychiatric service dog for anxiety and depression, I believe.
Yeah.
But also, what I understood is an ESA dog can also be for anxiety and depression.
Right. It's kind of like they run neck and neck. And
Yeah.
So maybe I need to sit myself down and read this more thoroughly. Yeah, I mean, even like, there's things like fear paralysis.
Mm-hmm. They're talking
agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia, yeah.
I mean, so, I've heard these terms for both type of dogs. So that one's a little bit tricky for me. And even like the therapy dogs that they take into facilities to visit.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that they were talking about, and I thought we were actually having a talk about this with using different breeds of dogs.
Oh, yep.
For a therapy dog or service dog. And, of course we love our Cane Corsos.
Yes.
AKA Italian Mastiffs.
Yep.
That's kind of our favorite breed. But they were saying they don't really like to use guardian dogs for this sort of thing.
I mean, maybe. In my opinion, which I don't know anything, but I think they would be great. My dogs would be terrible. But the breed in general, I feel, I mean, they bond very closely. So I feel like that, is something that you kind of want. But,
well, I think, the guardian dog is strongly bonded with their owners or families, and with the other dogs, like a golden retriever, they're kind of friendly with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So I imagine, that's the type they want out in the community, being okay, being around everybody.
Yeah.
Where I could see, Cane Corso saying, get away from my person.
Right. We are busy. Okay.
Do not get on this elevator.
Yep. Turn around. Turn around.
So, they don't really recommend the guardian dogs. And, and that's kind of a funny one, too, because, I worked at a facility one time that had a wiener dog as a therapy dog. And when I was working in the vet clinic, I got bit by more little dogs like that than I ever did a big one.
I don't know if anybody recalls, but we did do an episode on aggressive dogs. And dachshunds were very high up on that list. Okay? Let me just remind everybody.
Maybe that facility was not that impressed with their people that lived there.
Well, that's one way to take care of it, I guess, huh?
So, I did notice, though, in this book they were talking about the emotional support dogs, which, again, is kind of my gray area.
Right, yep.
But it does say that they actually provide just a therapeutic benefit to the owner. And here, I'm seeing the words in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
It says, who has mental or psychiatric disability, providing them with companionship.
Sounds very familiar.
It really does. So, so that is kind of an area that I think I have to really pick that one apart, because it just seems so very close to the psychiatric dogs.
Yeah.
That I'm not clear on why one has more protection from the ADA, or I should say rights from the ADA, than the, it isn't clear in my mind, and I'm not sure why.
Well, and maybe it could be just that, maybe we do need to look into a little bit more, but, it could be just the amount of time and training that go into the dog.
Well, and they said last time we were discussing this, they were saying that it costs like $15,000 to $30,000 to train a dog.
Yep.
And I'm just guessing the ESA dog is not as expensive because it doesn't have like a specific
Right.
Training. But then I asked myself, so does a psychiatric dog? I know there's methods like using pressure.
Yep.
Being able to remind about medicines,
Mm-hmm.
and even like they can lay on your feet or lean against you or put their head on your lap when you're having
licking. That was
some episodes. That is something that I think is kind of it just kind of reinforces my confusion.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, I'm not really, I don't know, we might have to go a little further into that one for sure, because I don't really get it either, and I mean, it sounds the same. So, maybe we went through it a little bit quick or something, because
well, and honestly, if you're in the market for a service dog, whether it be psychiatric or, another need, whether it's, seeing eye or
physical
hearing
disability.
impaired, if it's anything like that, obviously you're not going to do your research in, a week.
Right. It's a process.
Yeah, it's a lot more than what we've really applied ourselves to on this one. But one thing that you need to keep in mind, there are a lot of really good organizations that can work with you, or you can access for information. But I think it's really important to be watchful of scammers, not just on the internet, but people can represent themselves as trainers for this type of thing, service dog, therapy dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you can train a dog to sit, lay down, place, whatever you want to call it, does not mean you can train a seeing eye dog.
Do your research.
Right. And you need to watch out for things that, I think anytime you feel uncomfortable with the situation or a person you're dealing with, that is kind of something to be watchful for.
Well, and especially when you're trying to, with something like this is a serious thing. I mean, you want to take your time and work with somebody you're comfortable with. If you're unsure or uneasy about it, then you should definitely take a harder look, or
Well, this gal has a couple of red flags to watch for.
Okay.
And I'm not going to read them all. Honestly, I think if you have an interest in getting a service dog, this is an excellent book.
Very good.
It gives you so many resources. So I'm not going to read them all because you should probably just buy the book, dang it.
Yes, do it.
But a couple of red flags they mention is if they want to place young dogs or puppies as full service dogs.
Mm-hmm.
That is a red flag because full service dogs are not generally puppies.
Right.
They're usually, she says, at least 18 months old.
Right. So where they're at least over a year.
Yeah. So if they're saying, hey, we got this one registered for you, and it's only 12 weeks old.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Or if there is no formal application process.
Yep. It is a process. One thing that I did get out of this book, which they kind of really put out there, is it is a process. It's not an overnight thing. It's not super quick.
Another one is if they don't want you to visit their facility, you should be able to meet the trainers and the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And that is another red flag. Let's see. I'm just grabbing she's got quite a list here. Here's one that is kind of sketchy. If they want the money up front. All the money. It says all the money.
Yeah, I could see a deposit.
Yeah, and that's what it says. A portion up front is reasonable.
Sure.
But requiring it all in advance is suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
and it gives them less incentive to move forward with the
Right.
training if they already have the money.
Well, I don't need to hurry up on that. I already got the money for it, so, you know.
And this is the last one I'll pull out. No plan exits. I'm sorry. I apparently can't read. Exists for continuing support after placement. So,
Oh, okay.
you know, training should kind of be ongoing and provided for, you know, it should be something where they don't just cut you loose with the dog and say, there you go, there's your service dog.
Right. If you need some help afterwards, they should be there to support you
Mhm.
and help you through different situations if you need.
And then this, you know, another thing here, this is not, but, you know, it also reinforces your, you know, process
Yeah.
view. It says, you know, if possible, visit the facility and observe the dogs in training. Above all, resist the temptation to rush the process.
Mm.
So, yeah, you
That-
know, it is a process to do this. And, you know, and I don't even know where in the book this is, but I was reading one part that was saying that, you know, you might pick a dog that you think has every quality you need. You've assessed the temperament of the dog,
Yep.
and it might not make it. It might not cut
Yeah.
it as a service dog. And, you know, if you're working with a trainer, they'd probably rehome it and start from square one to get you the dog that would be most applicable to your need.
Mm-hmm. See, that would be an issue for me. I'd have all the dogs.
Yeah.
I would be like, no, you know, I can't. I'll take it home, and then we
Right.
start it.
Well,
Yeah.
and I would have a hard time with that as well because I tend to bond with dogs even, you know, if I have to take care of someone's dog for too long
Mm-hmm.
and then give it to them, you know, that's just kind of a bummer for me. I would be very sad.
Oh, I get that.
But, you know, that's something, it is a real process and
Right.
it's not going to happen overnight.
Well, yeah, and you have to be very committed and patient, and I mean, you really do have to, you know, apply yourself and, you know, be open to learning.
So another thing you have to think about is picking the dog. Some things to consider are size, which, you know, when I think about size, I think about, you know, what are you going to be doing with the dog? Are you going to be taking it to work? Are you going to be taking it on a bus? You know, that would definitely make me think about the size of the dog that you know, a Great Dane would be tough
Right.
to get into a cab, on a bus, things along that line.
Yep.
Thinking about the activity level, also the trainability.
Right.
You know, I think all dogs are smart. However, some are a little bit more silly and not as focused. I can think of a few dogs right off the top of my head that do not really have good focus when they're being trained. It's more of a playtime. Not that they can't learn, it just takes a little longer to get them focused.
Right.
Yeah, I guess thinking about, you know, the type of maintenance you want to be dealing with, you know, long coat, short coat. You know, I personally am not a fan of brushing dogs all the time.
No, I don't like doing it. My son does it because I don't want to.
Oh, that's nice.
So, yeah.
Well,
He likes it.
so a
So,
quarter and, oh.
no,
sorry.
I don't pay him.
Oh.
You kidding?
Besides that, there's been inflation. I don't know where
Yeah.
a quarter came from. That doesn't buy anybody
He'd
anything.
look at me like, what?
A quarter.
What am I going to do with this?
Also, something to consider that she brings up in her book is social considerations. Some places do have breed-specific legislation banning certain types of dogs.
Right.
Some apartments you can have dogs that are a certain size, but also dogs that are certain breeds. And I don't want to pick on the obvious, but one of them is a pit bull.
They do use that as an example.
Oh, do they?
They do.
Well,
So, and that's the thing. Now, the ADA I believe they trump the, like, if they have breed restrictions. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't have that pit bull.
Yes, I read that as well.
Yeah, but you got to be ready
Mm-hmm.
to go up to bat with all your paperwork and all that, right?
Yeah, they talk about that it's just more of an obstacle. You have to, always have the paperwork and proof and
Right.
verification that is, your service dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, if you choose those breeds, and I would just guess by size alone, not only that, but their temperament. The Cane Corso is one that is occasionally on a breed restriction.
Right. Yep.
Not that they're bad dogs at all. Obviously, we love them.
Right.
But
and they're excellent with children.
they really are.
So.
But it's just not top pick for service dog.
Right.
Some of the guardian dogs and now is a pit bull a guardian dog?
I think they might be. I know they're referred to as the nanny dog.
You know what we gotta do?
We gotta look it up now.
Google it. Yeah.
Google.
Yeah.
Here we come.
But it's not that you can't have these dogs that are not typical,
Mm-hmm.
but you're kind of opening up a can of worms. So you got to
Right.
be ready to kind of have a little bit more opposition on that.
Which, as much as I love our dogs, the Cane Corsos, if it was a matter of dealing with all of that trouble, and I might opt for a different breed for that specific task.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I would never have just one.
Well, and then this is actually what the question she asks is, which is more important to you, having a service dog or being a breed advocate?
Right, it depends.
And I think that is a question. If you have a valid need for a service dog,
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to ask yourself, are you just absolutely bent on a specific breed, or are you open to other breeds?
And that's, they do talk about, too, when you're choosing, your service dog, when you, go to the facility or whatever your plan of action is with the process, you need to be careful not to just fall in love with the dog. You need to be very realistic and honest about things that you'll need in that dog.
Right. I'm afraid I'm on the fence with that one.
Okay.
I feel like if there is a breed I am madly in love with,
Mm-hmm.
and I think are my dream dog, I probably would maybe go up to battle for that dog.
Yeah.
If I really felt strongly about it.
That's when you just have your little folder in your purse and ready to go.
I gotta have a bigger purse.
Yeah, you might need to get a bigger purse. But
Another thing you need to consider when you're choosing your dog is the health issues.
oh, yep. Yeah.
There are some dogs that have genetic issues, and you need to, obviously, with that expense and the time, invested in the dog, you want to make sure you have the healthiest one you can get.
Yes.
And in her book, she says that with to find out genetic health screens are recommended for specific breeds,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to, and this is great, she puts the website here, it's www.ofa.org, and they can tell you what's recommended for a specific breed.
Oh, nice.
So that's the thing about this book that's great, is she just gives you a lot of resources to even go by.
Well, and again, it can be really hard to pinpoint a good resource, or with all the stuff that's on the internet. I mean, it's really hard to tell who's legitimate and who's not, and
Well, anybody can write an article.
exactly.
So, I mean, that doesn't mean it's all true.
Right.
Also, you want to think about temperament.
Mhm.
There are, let's see, I was counting in here. She has 3 different temperament tests mentioned here.
Oh, wow.
Let's see, it's the PAT, which is puppy aptitude testing. And then the ATTS, which is American Temperament Test Society.
Oh, wow.
And then the BATS, BATS, and that is Brown Aptitude Test for Service. So she refers to these temperament tests, and it's just a tool. It is not something that is ironclad. It's no guarantee that this dog is the one.
Right.
Like I said earlier, it might not work out. You might have to rehome that dog.
Yeah.
And start from square one again.
But that's a good baseline to kind of go off of for things, right?
It's a good starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a lot of stuff to, little indicators to look at. Are they confident or timid? People orientated rather than independent. Now that's something I look at with a puppy when I'm talking to people about puppies. One thing I do when I test them is I will walk into a room with puppies running around playing, and I will have a couple of plates, really good smelling dog food. I like canned dog food because it puts off a good smell.
Yeah.
And the puppy that is more interested in me than the food kind of makes me feel like it is looking for a person to bond with.
Yes.
And I want, personally, for my dog to like me more than a plate of food.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that's just something I do, and I consider those puppies to be more people-oriented.
Oh, for sure. I have one. It's true. Not that one.
Oh. We have options with dogs here.
Yeah. Enzo is not the one, okay?
They have to like to be snuggled and cuddled, touched a lot. And not all dogs are cuddlers.
No.
I have one at home that I'm working on that with because she is, she's fine with her head being touched, but she just doesn't really like you bugging her body.
Yeah.
So, that's something to look at.
And she's super affectionate. But
she is,
yep.
Just touch her head.
Yeah.
You don't want one that's overly dominant or submissive. She's got a nice list of things that are just kind of little cues as to, temperament in here as well.
Yeah.
And she has like a chart here for the BATS aptitude test. So it's a really good book.
It's got a ton of excellent information, excellent resources, websites, all the stuff. I mean, and there are places too that if you don't have the funds to get a service dog, or whatever kind of, a service dog, yes, they can help you afford one, or, find a place that can help you get one at a discount. There's just an amazing amount of information.
In this book.
Yep.
Well, and the thing is if it is their business
Mm-hmm.
to train service dogs, they generally have access to the information, if not the help, to actually make it happen.
Exactly, yes.
Some kind of warning signs of aggression, which, I always chuckle when I see this one, and it is whale eye.
Oh my gosh.
And what do you think of when I say whale eye?
Elsa.
I know!
Permanent whale eye.
That is my dog, and she has whale eyes all the time.
She's not scary.
No, and I know they say it will be more white than usual, but she always looks like she has whale eyes, so that one always makes me chuckle, because just like you,
Yeah.
she came right to my mind. Every time I
Yeah.
read that term, I think of her.
Well, and honestly, if there was more white, her eyeballs would be popping out. My gosh. There is no more white.
And she's probably the least aggressive dog I know.
Yeah. She pretty much wants to cuddle everybody, so.
So, some other warning signs are becoming rigid and still stares at you.
Oh.
And excessive yawning and lip licking. I've never really seen a dog lip lick. Maybe, I can't say that I haven't been around enough dogs, because I think that is
Not
true.
as, I guess the only time I guess I've really seen them do that is after eating or drinking, or if they want some food that you've got or something like that.
That one always kind of makes me curious because I've never
Yeah.
really seen any of my dogs do that.
No, the yawning, I've seen that, but I think they're bored with me. Not, I don't think it's.
You make Ziggy yawn a lot.
I do. Well,
He's like, get out of here.
he is too. He needs to quit punching me. How about that?
But there are some other ones, you know, tuck tail and trembles, snarls, growls, snaps, lunges.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are very obvious.
Oh,
ones.
yeah.
Lots of pacing,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So those are just some warning signs that she has in here. And she has, let's see, what is this? She has so many resources. Many trainers, both owner trainers and organizational trainers, look to these standards for guidance. The most widely known are International Association of Assistance Dog Partners, and I had mentioned that earlier. And then the Psychiatric Service Dog Partners, PSDP, I had mentioned that one earlier. So, you know, she just really does a good job of getting the resources to you in this book.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that about it because, honestly, you know, it's kind of like, even if you don't go through this whole book page for page, you can thumb through it and at least find a good starting point.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I feel like if you find a starting point with a reliable resource that can help you go on to step 2.
Yes.
And on and on.
Yeah.
You know, it's just really had a lot of information in it. And, you know, I don't even know, I think I mentioned it on the last podcast, but the ADA,
Mm-hmm.
I just want everyone to understand that this is a federal law.
Yes.
This is not
Yep.
just for Minnesota.
Right.
But it's a federal law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities.
Nationwide.
So, right. So even though anytime you're, you know, trying to find things out for your own personal use, maybe more locally,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is, that's important too. But the ADA is federal. So that gives you, I mean, a really good
reference for
Right.
any of that information.
Right. She even has some information on taking your dog to work.
Oh, nice.
And
Yes.
most employers, if they know it's a certified psychiatric dog
Mm-hmm.
or a service dog of other sorts, they don't have a real problem working with you on that.
Yeah.
But if you do have a problem with that, they have, and it is free, it's www.askjan.org. So it's Job Accommodation Network, or JAN. So they can help you with that. And there's also a phone number listed here. And that's a nice thing too, because maybe it's because I'm old, but I don't necessarily want to do everything online.
I just want to call and talk to a person and ask my questions.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just easier for us older people maybe, but you know, it's nice to have a phone number as well.
Yeah.
Now, individual states, she had made comment in here that they cannot override federal legislation such as the ADA.
Yep. See?
So ADA is the big one.
Mhm.
So that is the one that you want to
Check into if you have any questions on this.
right. And as we're speaking, I'm just reading this one. Am I listening to what we're saying? No, I'm reading the book as we're talking.
Well, it's interesting.
It's interesting, and it's just, like I said, this isn't like a book that you're going to sit down and be, you know, on the edge of your seat kind of thriller kind of book.
Yep.
Or a romance novel. It's not entertaining.
Right.
But it's got so much good information. Another misdemeanor that would, it's a really big mistake here, is to represent your pet as a service animal. And I touched on that earlier, but that is absolutely illegal to, you know, represent your dog as a service animal. You can't hop on Amazon
Yeah.
order a vest, and take your dog everywhere you want to go.
Right. Yep.
So, this is mentioned a couple times in here, and I think that's important for people to know. I mean, honestly, I love taking my dogs with me places.
Right.
I like to go, your grandma is 4 hours away.
Yep.
I love to throw a dog in the car. I use that term lightly.
Yeah.
And, go say hey to her for a day and stop along the way at walks and parks and whatever.
Yep.
But it's just not allowed all the time.
Right.
So you can't just, do that.
Yeah. Don't be one of those people that throws a fit because you can't have your dog with, okay? It's just sometimes you gotta leave them home.
Yeah, unless you're blind.
Unless you're blind.
Or hard of hearing.
Right, I guess.
So, I mean, that's something that you really got to think about is that, you're breaking the law.
Yeah, you are.
Breaking the law.
It's, let's stay out of jail. Okay, don't do it.
So a lot of things that we talked about here on our last podcast. First off, with anything with the ADA, allowing animals into stores, restaurants, airplanes, any kind of transportation situation. Religious facilities, again, I think I mentioned this on the last one, but I did read it here. They are not under that, where they don't have to allow the service animals in. Typically, they want to work with people. They are a religious organization, so they aren't really going to shut people out.
Right.
But just so you're aware of it, that is not...
bring your paperwork to church, okay?
Bring it to work, and, I don't know if it's a rule, but, why not contact them ahead and say, hey, I have this issue. I have a service animal with me.
I would like to attend.
Yeah, and I think if you are pretty much upfront with them and, prepare them for that instead of popping in with your, Shiba Inu or whatever in hand.
Right.
I think sometimes just being prepared and letting people know ahead what's going on and what your questions are. Can you do it?
Right.
Is there special accommodation, maybe a certain area they'd like you to sit out of the line of people walking?
Yeah. Well, and that's, I think, I feel like, for the most part, if you're respectable and, you're going into it, being open about everything, I feel like most organizations are going to, like you said, try and help you out and work with you on things.
Right.
So.
Right. And, too, I think if you're prepared when you're out in the community, whether it's at a church or a store, you always need to make sure to have your supplies with.
Right.
Not saying you got to load up the cat, tree or, a big bag of dog toys.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt to have, like, some small treats, a collapsible bowl for water, poop bags. I think that is one thing, even in our local Facebook, in my nearest town, which is Thief River Falls.
Yep.
There was quite a go around on there. It was Thief River Chat.
Oh, yeah.
About dogs pooping in yards, and that is somewhat offensive. If you're rude enough to leave that behind, if you're vision impaired, that might be a little bit different situation. You don't know that's happening.
Sorry. It makes sense, but
Well, yeah, I mean, how
you don't know.
No, I don't, unless they have them trained somehow.
Yeah.
To be aware of it and be able to, take care of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I just wouldn't have thought of that. It
Yeah.
was like, oh, well, yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. And it wouldn't hurt if you had your ADA cards with or
Right.
paperwork with, to avoid any hassles over having your dog with.
Yep. Keep a little. I mean, they have all sorts of handy little things. I mean, you could keep your paperwork in, stick it in your purse or whatever,
Yeah, so it's good to be prepared to have your supplies with, and actually there was two things that I did come across in her section on, taking your animal with, I'm going to say dog because that's what we're about.
Yep.
But one, you can take them in a taxi, but you can't have them on the seat.
That could be tricky.
Yeah.
I suppose that's where size comes in. You gotta, where your location, if you gotta take taxis, choosing the size of dog.
Right. That is true. Planning ahead for that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can have them lay on the floorboards, down by your feet, things like that. So
Yeah.
it's important to make sure that you, and she also mentions that you need to, be professional when you're out and about. you
Right.
know. Don't get on the bus and throw a ball to the back and say sit.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. But when you're going through security at an airport, this is something too. They can't ask you to, take off a leash or vest or collar during the process, but they might ask you to, if you have pockets on the vest, empty out the pockets.
Sure. That would make sense, though.
So that's for airport security, and you can't take bottled water through airport security. Did you know that?
I did, you know what? I didn't know that. I've never been through airport security. I've never been on a real plane.
No.
Just Rogers.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah. But yeah, so, there's little thing, and that's a great thing about this book. I mean, honestly, it's, you don't have to read the whole dang book. You just can, go to the index and pick out what your question is and see what she's got to say. She's just got a lot of really good information.
And it's not like it's not like an encyclopedia. I mean, it's a decent sized book, but it's not like you look at it and think, oh, I'm never going to finish this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just has really good, necessary information in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Throughout these, situations where places might charge you for a pet fee.
Oh, yep.
Hotels, apartments, I guess renting cars. They can't charge you extra for having pets.
Oh,
if that's nice. If they're a certified service dog, they cannot charge you extra.
Because it's necessary.
Mm-hmm. So that's also something to think about. This has just been really kind of a big learning curve.
Yeah, it has.
But I mean, it's got ideas on taking out to dinner, to movies, churches, the gym. So that is, I almost made a joke that would have been totally inappropriate and absolutely offensive to so many people out there. I just had to think it through and shut down that inner voice of mine.
Just let her run free, Ma. Come on.
No. I think we'd get taken off.
Oh, wow.
Spotify would say no way. So.
Hey, there's a button for explicit content.
Oh.
There sure is.
I'd be getting my car vandalized in town. Just some fun facts. I was honestly sharing this with you a little bit earlier over breakfast.
Yes.
But did you know that there are... Okay, I'll start from the start here. She says that there is, since 2013, Georgia Institute of Technology researchers have been developing a smart backpack that enables dogs to trigger sophisticated actions at will.
Oh, is that like the prosthetics for people who've lost limbs that now can squeeze a ball?
No.
Oh. Oh. I thought I was onto something there.
You're onto something.
Something, not the right thing.
No, it is, so by activating sensors in the vest, the dog can call 911 through the handler's cell phone, send a text message, or play an audio recording to communicate important information, such as, my handler needs you to come with me.
Well, that would be awesome if they had that. Is it like buttons on it?
She doesn't expand on it. Yeah, it says here some of the earlier prototypes were built using inexpensive commercially available programmable microprocessor platforms. It has a name here. I won't use it. But Georgia Tech's Animal Computer Interaction Lab as part of Project Fido. Dogs with Occupations. I think that is like super amazing. I mean,
that is so cool.
I don't know. I'm not sure when this book was written. Let me look here in the copyright, but I don't know how far they've gotten with that. This was copyrighted in 2017.
Oh, so it's been a few years, so...
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know where they're... You know what we're going to have to do?
We're going to have to do an episode on it.
Google that.
I have to Google it.
Yeah, so that is something that I thought was kind of a fun and interesting fact.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like it. But that might definitely be something that we could talk about on another podcast, because that is... To me, that is just craziness that they can come up with that sort of thing. And, you know, what is the dog going to use to, you know, activate that?
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be... I mean, it's a dog. I mean, I get that they're smart, but physically they can only do, you know.
Well, I think my dogs would eat it.
Yeah, I think maybe.
We've had some troubles with remote controls in my house. So I feel like Yazzie would eat it.
I could just imagine that being on one of them and the other one's thinking it was a toy and just someone just flopping all over because they're trying to play with it.
Well,
yeah,
I can't even imagine it. I'm trying to think it through in my head how it works. Honestly, I am going to Google that.
Yep.
That is something I guess I don't even know how that would work, but
super cool though.
Clearly I'm not that smart.
Well, I have a tough time with laptops, so, you know, maybe I shouldn't be telling people, but...
I have you
for
my technical needs.
This is so good. Yes.
So, anyhow, yeah, so, I mean, honestly, this book is called Saved by the Dog, and it's Unleashing Potential with Psychiatric Service Dogs by Anne Martinez.
There you have it. Go buy it. Look it up. It's an ebook as well. You can also listen to it if you don't feel like sitting down and reading it or fall asleep doing so. I have problems with that, so.
Well, and it's kind of handy if you're busy and don't exactly have all the time in the world.
Yep, I was actually listening to it while I was cleaning my house because I needed to get some stuff done. But so yeah,
well,
check it out.
Your mother, I'm glad you're cleaning your house.
Yes, I know. You did teach me, so I did a good job too.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Yeah, so it's really great. Next time on our next podcast.
Yes.
We will be talking about boundaries within the home.
Do you even have any for your dog?
Oh, no,
I don't. Pretty sure they
But
don't think so.
That will be our next podcast. So.
Yes. Again, if any of you guys have any questions or comments, email us at realtalkdogtalk@yahoo.com.
And thank you for joining us. We hope that you will be here for our next podcast.
Bye.
Goodbye.